In a crypto lounge with a charts a while, we're dropping beats and rhymes and we're not for mile. From Bitcoin to Ethereum, we're breaking it down. In the crypto lounge where the market's never bound. Crypto lounge, daily live stream, market analysis, breaking news, it's a dream. We're dropping knowledge, we're dropping bars. In the crypto lounge where the beats are hard. From NFTs to DeFi, we're keeping it real. We're dropping knowledge, and we're making it feel. From bull to bear, we're always on the grind. In the crypto lounge, where the market's never blind. Crypto lounge, where the toll lounge, where the market's never blind. Crypto lounge, daily live stream, market analysis, breaking news, it's a dream. We're dropping knowledge, we're dropping bars. In the crypto lounge, where the beats are hard. We're dropping knowledge, we're dropping rhymes. In the crypto lounge where the future shines.
All right. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody's doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. Another hand clap for, is it a happy, can I say it's a happy Tuesday? I don't know. I guess we could say that. We got a lot to talk about. Paul Atkins, got to get into some news about the SEC chair. He's been very, very busy with giving us some tips when it comes to new investors, when it comes to privacy on a blockchain, which a lot of you guys, if you're tech guys, you already know. There's nothing really private about a public ledger. If you know how to move and if you know how to investigate, and a lot of you blockchain detectives know what I'm talking about, it's very easy to find out where money is going. Ask the Tornado Cash devs, even with the mixers. So with that being said, we're definitely going to get into that. Is it too late for Ethereum? We may have some time, because that's a pretty extravagant report. I may have time to get into. And basically it's talking about, these upgrades and the value that's being extracted. TVL is still robust, but is that enough? Going into 2030, from now into 2030, can ETH survive what Solana is doing to it, essentially? We'll get into that. And I think I got my compadre here in the back. What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
What is going on, man? How you doing, LMG?
Crazy now.
Yeah.
50 degrees, it feels like 60 now. Like 12 degrees the other night. Crazy.
Yeah, the weather is crazy. It's really wacky. A lot of people are, around my way. We don't know what the hell's going on. We don't know what's going on. It's hot and cold. It's supposed to be
for global warming, huh?
I don't know what it is. And I know the sun is acting really bizarre, with the solar flares and sunspot activity. We have that. So, but as far as Bitcoin, we're going to get into it. Have you been keeping on track with what Paul Atkins is, especially the roundtable, and what he had to say when it comes to investor privacy and how to move when it comes to self-custody versus using a custodian? Did you get caught up on that? Because we want to get into that.
Yeah, I did check it out. He's talking about cold wallets and stuff.
Yeah.
Rock and roll.
I think it's good, investor protection. I think it's good. We need to go there. We got newcomers that are in this space and coming in, and some are using ETF vehicles, which I think that's the safest way for the newcomers. But you have people who are doing DeFi or diving right into it, and they need to understand the difference between self-custody, your hot and cold situation, and then your custodians, the risk involved there. And he did a great job. So, but the privacy thing, I think a lot of people don't understand how open these ledgers are, and a lot of the scammers think they're really hiding, but at this point in time, going into these new years, it's going to be really tough to be a scammer. And if you are stealing millions of dollars, you're going to be brought to justice pretty quickly, LMFG. And it's not that hard, bro. It's really not that hard for these detectives to do this. And Paul Atkins is very serious about that going forward. Bitcoin, what's your take on Bitcoin, man? We talked about this. We had a pretty decent discussion about this, and you said 80K. I think you were even below 80K. As we get into that, what's your take? And we're going to dive into the market here in a little bit.
Yeah, now all of a sudden it bounces back up. I don't know. Like I said, this is such uncharted waters. I just tell
Yeah.
everybody, just relax, DCA into your blue chips. And
Yeah.
like you even said, I should have done it with, everybody's probably saying it. When XRP was at $3, should have put in RLUSD, staked it, and now could be buying back in. It's crazy.
No.
I don't touch my stuff. I just hold.
You got to protect your money, and we'll get into the XRP situation too, because you have a lot of OG. Well, you had one 7-year wallet that completely clipped pretty much all the inflow that is came in via ETF. This whale clipped all of that, $720 million worth of profit that was completely absorbed by this 7-year-old wallet. And we'll get into that because I got to tell you guys, going into 2026, a lot of these ETFs, a lot of these OG holders, including some OG Cardano holders, ADA holders, they're going to do the same thing to those ETFs. But we'll get into that, how you should move going forward. The age of the altcoin ETFs, that is on the horizon. So we'll get into a lot of this, man. We got a lot to get into. Let's go ahead and get into the market. Let's get into that. Because it's very interesting what we have in LMFG as we move into this market report. $87,000 Bitcoin. It did get below 85 essentially. Tim, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the show. As we are, bringing this up, you would think that we would see more red when it comes to the altcoin, situation. But there's a lot of green, LMFG. There's a lot of green that's present. And as you can see, $87,000 for Bitcoin, below 90K, right? And Jason says, hibernating like a bear market. Some say we're still in a bull market. You still have people that are saying that we're in a bull market. I don't understand those people. LMFG, I don't understand anybody that could actually say this to their followers, that we're in a bull season, a bull market. At this point in time, are you kidding me? Do you think that? Do you think we're in a bull market? Because I've been calling bear market ever since February.
I don't think either. We're in uncharted waters, man.
Yeah.
All these laws and everything, and I obviously I don't think they're going to get the Clarity Act signed. They got a couple of days.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Recess, so probably February, March, or something. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
it's not
I
happening.
say we're neither. We're either or, and this can go anyway. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, the Clarity Act is definitely not happening. You had the Senator Lumens capitulated to Senator Warren. So it's going to get a little weird, right? DeFi is going to be a little different. It's going to swing a little different. And the banks are happy. And I hate to report that, but the banks are very happy right now because they got their wish. It's not good. It's definitely not good. But I don't think we're going to even have time to get into that because that's a whole nother level of disgust, especially, and we always talk about how sausage is made in Congress. You have the banks, they have the money, they lobbied and they got their way with the Clarity Act. So, and I think this is why Paul Atkins is coming out saying the privacy issue, and they want to constrict the actual banks and from actually leveraging this digital information, and they're putting it out here. They're trying to, how should I say, educate the newcomers on what's to come and how open these ledgers are and how it's very easy to be spot up on. We're going to get into his remarks because I think it was really cool that he came out and said this at this roundtable. But I think it fell on a lot of deaf ears because a lot of people really don't understand what the hell he was talking about, especially the newcomers that are coming into crypto. They don't, excuse me, pardon me, they don't get or understand how easy it is to be spot up on when it comes to these ledgers. What's your take, man, on the privacy factor? Because we do have ZK, which I think is beautiful. I think it's going to take off once people understand how important ZK is going forward, especially in DeFi. Are you afraid when this stuff goes mainstream, especially when the banks tap into it? We already have that in our banking system today, but it is not as robust as it is because fiat is, it's hard to track fiat. For those of you who are in cash, you understand, this is why a lot of people prefer cash because it's a little bit harder. It's way harder to track those dollars, those paper dollars versus digital assets. Very easy. What's your take, bro? Are you looking forward to this? Because once we do go mainstream, once the banks do tap into this, fiat, the paper cash flow is going to go away. Are we really ready for this?
Yeah, to me, it's what I was saying 4 years ago. I says, there's no way this is going to just be like the Wild West. It's not going to be like cash. The banks are going to know everything. They're going to control it eventually. And guys were telling me, screw you, that's not what blockchain's all about. It's not what crypto's about. I said, it doesn't matter. Follow the money. Hands down, they're gonna put their hands on this, and it's gonna be today. Traditional finance is even worse.
Yep, absolutely.
To me, like I said a little while, we were on a space the other night, and I was saying, if I wanted to find out where you live, it wouldn't be too hard. It's right to your address. I go down to the register of deeds. You own a house, a condo.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know how much you paid for it, probably what bank you signed up with, and I can get a copy of your signature. So the blockchain is, and with the privacy, like you see, Midnight just released, and that's all ZK. So it's coming. It's just going to take time and tweaking. Like I said.
Yeah. I like the ZK. I think you need ZK, especially with the RWAs, tokenized assets. They're going to be rolling off here pretty soon, right? You're going to need that. And you're right, man. You have that form of tracking right now with banks. That is very constrictive. They're very constrictive in how much you can take out of your account at this point in time. On a blockchain, you don't have those restrictions. If you want to cash out $1 million, you can do so. You can offer up that to your bank as well. At will. This is the cool thing about DeFi. It's the cool thing about decentralized finance. If some of you in certain areas, you may not have that, that choice. I know there's some jurisdictions where you can't, but this is the easy part about it, but it's trackable. It's 100% trackable. If you take cash out of your bank, it's really hard to, at that point in time, to track every single fiat paper bill that you're spending. That's pretty hard to track, but it's doable. Like you said, LMFG, it's doable, but it's more harder. On blockchain, it's really easy. When it comes to CBDCs and stable coins, it's really easy. And this is what Atkins is talking about. They need to put some fail safes here, some kind of stop points here. They need to regulate this because I think he's seeing how easy it is. And it doesn't have to be a CBDC, guys. A stable coin is a glorified CBDC. I'll say it again. A stablecoin is a glorified CBDC. We're not getting away from that. I don't care what Trump says. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, even if you go peer to peer, you still got an on ramp. So and then you can say Coinbase, right? And then you send it to your wallet. And now it's like you got cash. Now, if I go to my buddy and I buy a tractor for $1,000, I send him $1,000. Now that's all traceable. If that was cash, they don't even know I got a tractor or a gun or whatever. But now you can follow again, you follow the money. In a way, this is a good thing. Don't be you're not going to buy stuff illegally with blockchain. If you do, you're an idiot. You're getting caught. It's that much. That's simple. You know what I mean?
It really is.
Follow the money, and now it's very traceable.
Absolutely. This is what Atkins is talking about. You're right, man. You're right. So a little alert to the scammers. Those days are over, guys. You need to chill out. What you've done is it's so easily trackable, and your location is as well. Triangulation is very easy with blockchain tech, with this DeFi tech, with these wallet techs. Your IP is attached to it. These internet service providers can easily, your MAC address you can be easily triangulated on, right? It's real. It really is. And everybody, years ago they was getting away with all this. No, you didn't. Actually, you did not. Ask those people who are getting letters from the IRS, the PPI, what is it, the PPI loans or whatever, all that stuff that was going on during COVID. They're getting brought to justice. I forgot what those loans were, the fraudulent loans that people actually filed. I think it's PPI or something like that. They're going to jail now, and that was like 2 years ago, right? And these people going to jail. Everything is so trackable right now. The surveillance level, and then you add digital currency, that surveillance. This is what Paul is talking about. It's even more heightened than it was before. It's so easily, it's a surveillance state that we're going into. They're going to be using these vehicles, these digital vehicles. in blockchain too. This is crazy. We're talking about it. I think VeChain patented a locator technology just recently, like a couple of years ago, when it comes to locating and tracking livestock that can be easily placed within these systems as well, especially when it comes to these movement of monies, not only commodities. But I digress from that. Let's go ahead and get into the market. We got way into that rabbit hole, bro. $87,000. I think we're going to go to 86 LMFG. Now we're going to get into the reason, because you had liquidations, but the Bank of Japan, that, and I always tweet this, Japan sends its regards. They truly are, because we're going to get rate hikes. They're going to start with a 25 basis points, 0.25, a quarter basis point. The actual agenda is to do 2% over a 12-month period. Now, this is very bearish for Bitcoin. We're going to get into an article about this here in a little bit. This is very bearish. This is what you see along with liquidations. It actually is the best time to actually short Bitcoin, because no, not financial advice. I'm just saying it's very predictable what's going to happen, because every time the BOJ goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Now we're talking about a 2%, probably even more, say 2+% hike of the BOJ rate, the Japan interest rate. We're going down. So there's a divergence there, a negative correlation there when it comes to the actual Fed. Our rate's going down, which this is why Jerome Powell did not want to do this. He was forced to do that. The basis point cut, the quarter point, 25 basis points. We went down. Japan's going up. We're going the wrong direction. And every time Japan goes up, Bitcoin goes down. Now, you have Peter Brandt that has come out, and he said $25,000 is going to be the floor for Bitcoin 2026 due to these factors. Now, a lot of people don't understand that Japan's wanting to go up 2% within a 12-month period. That is going to dissolve the carry trade. That is going to completely decimate the carry trade. And a lot of people are going to be running to reverse what they've done prior to this. And this is what you see happening with Bitcoin. This is why you see these sell-offs. It's going to get even worse. LMFG, what's your take before we get into this article?
Yeah, I just hope not too bad.
25,000. What do you think?
Nah, I don't know. I can't see it going that low, dude. Because there would be so much going back into it, I think, real quick. You know, I think 60 would be a floor, and that will be detrimental.
Yeah, me too. You know, 50 I think is a more feasible drop. I think 50K, and I mean 50K is bad for all altcoins. Now it's a good opportunity, as I tweeted earlier, for people to DCA in, and if you already got a bag, and if you're not shooken out of these legitimate plays, again, not financial advice, but what I'm saying is, if you are very patient and if you are a strong investor long term, these are great opportunities to compound on what you already hold. Okay. Because you're going to get those opportunities going into 2026. You're going to get some all-time lows like you've never, ever seen before in a lot of these top 15s. We're going to talk about XRP. What happened with XRP? These wells are going, they're going to see the ETF, the altcoin ETFs. They're going to see that inflow and they're going to get out. These are going to present massive drops in these charts. And you're going to get opportunities to DCA and to get into positions in these top blue chips that you've never even dreamed of, right? What's up, XXI Gaming? Welcome to the show, brother. So what's going on, brother? I have to tell you though, LMFG, I took advantage of the dip in Linea. Loved it. I told you I was waiting on that. Got a good back. I love the chain. I love what's going on with the chain. I love the partnerships. Monad. I got an opportunity there that's coming. I believe that's coming as well. Getting some more Monad. These are my moves. I'm not telling you guys to do this, but I love those two plays. Now, when it comes to other plays that people are in already and they're seeing those charts that are going down, guys, they're going to go there and they're going further down in the hole. All right. Don't get shooken out of these plays, because you know the legitimate plays. These blockchains are not going anywhere. In fact, they're going to be leveraged by entities, by banking, going into the next 4 years. Don't get shooken out of your plays, guys. Use these opportunities to compound on what you already have, DCA even further up. Once that does happen, once you do get the trajectory upward, and it will happen, you're going to be glad you did. LMFG, is that smart, right? Or am I is it just a pipe dream? Because that's what I'm doing, And again, I have to stress legitimate plays, right? Do your research. Don't invest in BS, right? Make sure it's legitimate, make sure it's applicable, make sure it's going to be used in the future, and make sure there's a bifurcated presence. It's not only dominant within the space, but make sure your players are dominant outside of the space going forward.
Yeah, 100%. And just think about the ones that are pushing, like you said, the real world assets, DeFi. These are, and that they've been around for 5, 6, 7 years and some. These survivors after this dip here and whatever goes on, and Clarion comes in and starts rolling again. I believe there's going to be a tremendous amount of gains.
Yeah.
Especially if you can hang out until 2030, 2035. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
No, it is. I totally agree. Totally agree, man. A lot of people are very, very scared right now, especially you're looking at your portfolio and you're a holder and you're that type of guy that's like, I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell at a loss. I think you're double thinking that. You're like, oh man, this is one of those old God moments, right? Like, what do I do? Because this thing is going down. It truly is. You can see that. And you can see a lot of liquidity that's actually trying to move. And we're going to get it. You know what? Actually, I want to get into this. Now, we did see some movement of liquidity into the altcoin sector, but it has been completely reversed. And this was earlier, like 5 hours ago. I was looking at these charts, guys. And you've seen a lot of liquidity that was kind of shifting from Bitcoin back to the altcoin markets. It was looking pretty promising. That has been reversed. LMFG, these things don't last very long. We're still in oversold. The RSI, is reading oversold, like beaming oversold, right? And we know this. Anytime you see this red, these are oversold situations. I think we're going to go into a level of oversold ratings that are going to, like we've never seen before. Essentially, we're at 39.69. I think we're going to go into the teens, guys. I am not joking. Now you're looking at Ethereum. It is less than 3K. It's $2,900. Ethereum has a complacency issue that we may get into that I think is going to affect it. It's not all about TVL with Ethereum. And I know the foundation loves to say that. We got the TVL, guys. We're not worried. Well, it's stagnant. It's compartmentalized. It's not TVL in motion. And that's what Solana has. TVL in motion. Now, ETH has a lot of TVL that's captured. That can go away overnight. So the TVL thing doesn't matter anymore, LMFG for Ethereum. And I think a lot of those foundation members actually are starting to understand this. That's why you see these new upgrades. The Fushka upgrade just recently. You have Beam Chain. Will it be enough? I don't know. Beam Chain has been pushed, and I think they're going to actually go through that because I think those guys are there's some fissures going on in that foundation. And I think the Ethereum Foundation is finally realizing if we don't do something about this complacency, if we don't actually upgrade this chain, if we don't get Beam Chain initiative going within the next 5 years, we're done. It doesn't matter how robust the TVL is. TVO is total, a value locked. It's stagnant. It's compartmentalized. Most of that is staked. It's not in motion because everybody's leaving ETH, right? Solana has something going for it, and it's TVL in motion, right? That's why everybody's so bullish about it. It's like the NASDAQ of the blockchain ranks right now. Motion, in motion. Very quick to it as well. But there's some issues with Solana. We talk about that a lot. But Tether has issues. Tether is in trouble. I keep telling you guys, Tether is in trouble. You're going to see Tether disappear. I give Tether another year. And if they don't capitulate, they're gone. They're gone. And I told you guys, RLUSD is going to take the place of Tether. If not RLUSD, USDC. I think USDC is probably going to be the next runner-up. When Tether does disappear, because it will. Mark my word, Tether's days are numbered. Does RLUSD steal the thunder, or does USDC move up to where it should be? I don't know. I love USDC. I'm a big fan of Circle and what they're doing. By the way, they have their own private layer 1 as well. We'll see. Solana 127. Speaking of Solana, $127 down 10%. On the week. There was a slight push, guys, but as I told you, all the liquidity is going back to Bitcoin. It's crazy, and it's being sold. It is being sold because of the actual fears of what's going on in Japan with the interest rates and the carry trade. basically being decimated over a 12-month period. This is what's happening. Dogecoin 13 cents. There's been a lot of grumbling about Dogecoin, and I didn't see LMFG. I didn't see Elon say this, but it's been tweeted that Elon is basically giving up on Dogecoin. It's dead in the water now. Some would argue it's always been dead in the water. It was just one of the original memes that were just put out there for jokes, but it made millionaires. But Elon was the catalyst for that. Do you think it's dead, LMFG? Has Elon given up on Dogecoin?
No, I didn't see that. And because I remember that his top lawyer has been working with them for a couple of years now. You know? I don't know. Hope not. I was hoping that he's going to bring it in as a payment system for X, you know?
Yeah, you know, the hyper minting juggernaut of a meme coin. I don't know. I'm still trying to find it. This guy, you know, he posted it. I don't know if Elon deleted it. I don't know. If he's saying that he's given up on Doge, I could totally understand it. He also said he would never create a coin or a token. He would never do that and implement it on X. What's going on, Selmo? Welcome to the show, brother. Hold is what Selmo is saying. Yeah, a lot of people are trying. I consolidated into a USDC. I'm getting yield. You know, I'm heavily consolidated into DeFi, and I'm not losing any more money. You know, I got some solidified plays that I'm staying in, obviously. But I saw my portfolio fluctuating too much, so I wanted to consolidate, get out of the way of this free fall. And then, yeah, we'll see what happens next year. You know, Sauce Mac says, hello, everybody. Should I just bury my head until next summer? You know, you know, a lot of people are doing that. Sauce Mac, don't do that, bro. There's some opportunities, but you do need to be smart with your portfolio. Like I'm consolidating into stablecoins and I'm getting yield, you know, 4.9 on Coinbase with and then I have some DeFi positions that I'm getting around 10%, which is pretty cool. Doing that right now. And I have some solidified plays, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. I love my Monad and I love Linea, that beautiful, you know, EVM, that L2 Linea. Those are the ones that I'm compounding because it's just, I can't pass up, man. The chart looks great for DCAing upwards. So, but those two I left alone, and then the rest I consolidated into yield bearing positions because I don't want to lose any more money, and it's doing very well. And we'll ride this wave out because the Bank of Japan sends its regards. They're going to tank Bitcoin with these interest rate hikes. So it is what it is. Cardano, you're going to see some whales selling Cardano. Unfortunately, LMFG. We're going to get that ETF, and going into 2026, a lot of whales are going to clip that ETF. This is what happened to the XRP ETF. Billions of dollars brought in. This 7-year-old wallet recently just clipped all of that. I think we're down. It's just below $2. Every time this thing gets over $2, you see a old XRP wallet completely decimate the gains. You're going to see that with our Cardano as well, brother. What's your take on that? Does that even frighten you? Because I know a lot of XRPers are like, what the hell? How long do we have to deal with these OG wallets until we really see some substantial gains?
Yeah, who owns them? JP Morgan, BlackRock, UBS.
You really
AIG?
think that's what's happening? Come on.
Who owns them?
I hope not, bro. If I probably right. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, no, and it does suck because there's no reason to take $700 million cash out of anything. I mean, what are you doing? You know?
Yeah.
Besides intentionally hurting the market. That's why I'd like to know who actually owns them wallets.
Yeah, you know. I mean, can you blame them? I would never shame anybody for taking profits. That's not in me, bro. I would never do that. I think it's healthy. You don't want to just leave that on the table, right? $700 and some odd $million. God bless him. Hand clap for the profit taken, right? I can't downplay that. We must, acknowledge that you have to take profits, right? But at the same time, you're right. Responsibly, I think there's some responsibility there, especially when you're taking that much from the liquidity pool, when you're affecting the charts in that manner. I think there's some responsibility to maybe sell more responsibly, over time. Should we place ethics there, right? There's some moral way of selling there, because that pretty much demoralized the whole XRP community when he did that. A lot of people are very upset. A lot of the recent buyers are underwater right now, beneath the waves, big time, because they just bought and they seen this come around. So we'll get into the nuances of that. It was very interesting. I seen a comment come in. Let me see here. Selmo says, U.S. Office of the Comptrollers of Currency, OCC, granted conditional approval for Ripple to form a new entity called Ripple National Trust Bank, allowing it to operate as a federal trust bank. This is very interesting and very true as well. Hand clap to Ripple for that accomplishment. We got to celebrate that. LMFG, you've been talking about this for a while. You've been celebrating this for a while. Selmo, this is great. This is great. They also, the actual cross-border agent was actually granted entry to a Swiss banking system as well, which is it's actually online and processing cross-border payments. That is great for XRP. Hand clap for that too as well. I don't think they got a lot of play too as well, but that is a great situation that we need to hand clap as well. But LMFG, there's that bank thing again. What you take, bro? I know you were happy about that.
And the DTCC, guys. That's $3.7 quadrillion per year that they are allowed to put on the blockchain now. Did you see that? Now
yeah. Yeah. We caught that.
That's where traffic's coming.
We definitely caught that. That was great news. That was great news. But I tell you, there's a lot of things that are going on with XRP. We're going to get into in-depth report on that here in a little bit. Cardano, 38 cents. Everything is sliding back, guys. Again, that liquidity is moving back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin Cash is still over $5. I find it very interesting that Bitcoin Cash is still over $500, which is very interesting. Chainlink, $12. It did get up to $13, almost $14, but is once again back down under 12. I think it's still a great buy for what they have going and for what is going to be going on in the future. What's up, Dave P? Welcome to the show. I think it's still a great buy. It is Chainlink. It is freaking Chainlink. So this thing is going to balloon way past $100 next year. You can mark my word on that. It's down 30% along with all alts. Hyperliquid is down. There's a lot of Hyperliquid hype token holders that are very pissed off right now. This thing was supposed to be over $50. They were promised a $50 hype token. They're not getting that. In fact, it is down across the board, almost down to $25. So if you are one of those people who were promised this, I know you're pissed. You're very upset. Monero is still under $500. The OG privacy protocol is across the board up. And I think it's really, really interesting because what we have coming out of the SEC with Paul Atkins about privacy and what about wallet tech, educating people on wallet tech, wallet privacy, how to use self-custody. And you see Monero, OG privacy up across the board, actually up 13% on the week. Almost $430. Zcash, $400 as well. There's another OG privacy protocol as well. Stellar, XLM, the beautiful Stellar. 21, the cousin of XRP, 21 cents, guys. So this is the market. By the way, Suchain is almost $1 again. And then you have AVAX, $12, and Litecoin, $78 per coin. Let's go ahead and hand out the market. It is what it is. It is what it is. Now we're going to get into this particular story here, LMFG. We got to get back to Bitcoin because everybody's wondering, why is it plummeting? What is going on with Bitcoin? We brought up the BOJ situation. We brought up the actual interest rates that are going to be hiked 2% within a 12-month period. We're going to get a a quarter basis point hike this week. This is already in the cake, guys. Now, baked in, I don't think it's in the oven yet, but it is in the mix. This is going to happen. Now, here's the headline. Bitcoin plummets over, what is it, $600 million in liquidations, guys. This brought Bitcoin down to $85,000, right? I think it even touched 84,000 LMFG. Now, these liquidations are just a piece of the puzzle. This is kind of hiding the actual macro catalyst is what the actual main headline is saying. Now, I've been looking at this data for over 2 weeks when it comes to BOJ and when it comes to these threats with these hikes. It's going to happen. Now, here's a sub headline. Market reports link the sell-off to renewed fears of the BOJ, which is what I've been talking about since we went live, while tightening monetary policy at its meeting this week. Now, threatening the yen carry trade that funds risk assets. Now, this particular yen carry trade has funded asset purchasing for decades. Okay. And not only I'm not just talking about Bitcoin, we're talking about all risk assets across the board, across this planet. All of the institutions, everybody that's involved here has used this carry trade. All right. Now, this is going to be unwind. It's going to be unwinding. It's going to be dissolved. Okay. By the end of 2026, I don't even think it's going to be usable. I don't even think it's going to be a thing because the yen is about to get a whole lot stronger as we simultaneously cut our rates. This is bad. This is a bad recipe for Bitcoin. This is a bad recipe for all markets, even the stock market, all those risk assets in the stock market across the board. Guys, this is going to affect everything in a negative standpoint. Now, Bitcoin, let's go ahead and get into this article. Bitcoin slipped below 85,000 overnight, triggering nearly $600 million worth of liquidations in the long positions across crypto markets within 24 hours as expectations mounted that the Bank of Japan will hike interest rates this week. Now, I think it's a bad idea to go long on Bitcoin. I think pretty much anybody that's into perps, in these futures markets, you should already know, do not go long on Bitcoin. That's going to be one of the worst things that you can possibly do at this point in time. If you're paying attention, do not go long on Bitcoin. Now, as of press time, when this article was written, not financial advice, I'm just saying, be careful with the longs. Now, Bitcoin recovered slightly to 86. We see it at 87 right now. The drop was very, very consistent when it comes to these particular news cycles. Now, $218 million in long positions, guys. $213 million in Ethereum longs as well shared the actual pain. This is on chain, guys. Now, more than 200 million in liquidations concentrated within roughly an hour as the price fell to $86,000 and $86,700 essentially. Now, the market reports all of these losses were linked to the sell-off, to the renewed fears of the BOJ, and the tightening of the monetary policy, which is going to be rate hikes, guys. They've been negative for so long. They're tired of it. The Bank of Japan, the new regime, they're tired of it. They want to save the yen. They want to save the country. I don't think they give a damn about the dollar anymore, and I don't blame them, right? I think they've made a choice. Save Japan, right? Save the yen. Save the people, right? This is the choice they've made. And why wouldn't they do that? So this is very disadvantageous. This is a negative when it comes to the carry trade. This pretty much is going to dissolve that, because as they go up towards 2% gold over a 12-month period, you're going to see Bitcoin go down, and even more to the lower level of 50K. Peter Brand is saying $25,000 Bitcoin by the end of 2026. Can you imagine, LMFG, what the altcoin market will look like with Bitcoin sitting at $25,000? And I'm not even talking about just, maybe a development situation or just lackluster dev participation, complacency. We're just talking about pride. We're just talking about fear. Just that element of fear at $25,000. That could really decimate a lot of projects and platforms, LMFG.
Yeah, definitely. Any ones that survive that, they'll be around here in 2035.
Yes, sir. I believe that.
My thing with, if it goes, I think below 60, what's going to happen to the miners? And if you're talking 25 grand, how are you going to, even if you get a block, geez, what's going to happen to the miners?
Well, they're already in trouble. Miners are already in the red. A lot of them aren't making profit. Even the conglomerates are like, what the hell is going on? What are we doing? Why do we buy so much mining? What are we doing? We're in the loss. We're it's bad, guys. You're going to see a drop in hash rate as well. You're right, brother. And if this thing goes to 25K, what do they do? You're going to see a huge correction, not only in mining, but you're going to see a correction in this space as well. And like you said, the ones that make it through this, right, even at 50K, it'll be the same thing. 25K will be even worse. But even at 50K, right, it's still going to be the same thing. What do you do? Those who survive, they're going to be some tough cookies. those are going to be some really tough, hardcore devs that are going to weather the storm. And I think they should be well supported, especially if they come through this the right way, with the platform still humming like a hummingbird. I think it's a good time for them to update as well and perfect their situation, make these L1s and L2s even more robust. If they have the fortitude, because they're going to need it. And they're going to need a strong community too as well, because we're about to go through this. And I know your favorite influencer is not telling you this. They're feeding you with a lot of BS. We're about to go through some downsides, guys. We're about to go through some all-time lows. Probably going to set some new all-time lows. Okay. I'm 100% going to tell you the truth. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to give you roses, right? I'm going to tell you the truth. Get ready, because it ain't all good, right? We're going to go through some rough patches. 2026 is going to be really rough for not only a lot of blockchain devs, not only for DeFi, not only for fiat. It's going to get rough for everything across the boards. Now, Dave P says, no way it goes to 25K. I'm thinking 55 low if we get that low. Jay says, I told you long back, 80% correction. You're right, Jay. Jay, you actually called this, bro. I got to give it to you. You did call this. Dave P, I'm not really thinking 25K. So Peter Brand is very bearish on this. 55, I'm with you, bro. I'm thinking 55 as well. 50-ish is my low. And you're right, Jay. You called it, bro. And it's very devastating. And LMFG, you also said the correct thing. Whoever survives this and comes through and is very solid, they should be well respected, because they are the real devs in this space. They're going to be the real solid devs. Those are going to be the real guys. A lot of these fake devs and influencers, they're gonna fall on the wayside, because they keep perpetuating the lie of a bull season. This was never a bull run, guys. And the cycles are over. I hate to tell you guys, 4-year cycle, all that is done. It's done. New paradigm. These are new ways. New normals are being set. All right, we're gonna listen to Paul Atkins, because we have the government involved. Banks are involved now, right? Bitcoin has been hijacked. LMFG. I always say this. It has been hijacked and it's in the process of being perverted. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, whether you like it or not, our space is changing. And a lot of things, it's about to be constricted. It's about to move a whole lot slower, and the volatility is about to disappear. And I don't think you're going to like it, guys. A lot of you aren't going to like it. But I think as a long-termer, as a stock guy, I'm loving it, where we're headed. More accountability, less of the bull, if you will. And then once we get over these corrections, then that's when you're going to see Bitcoin go to $250,000. But we're still years away from that, guys. Jay says the trap season, this is what he's calling it. They would show bull season and then trap you and crash on you. This is what's happening. This is what's happening right now. So be careful when your favorite influencer is telling you it's a bull season. Be very careful with that. All right. Now let's get back into this. When the BOJ raises rates, investors who borrow yen, this is a carry trade essentially, at low rates to purchase higher yielding assets, must unwind the position, guys. Previous BOJ tightens and rate hikes have always coincided with sharp Bitcoin down trends, guys. So this is tradition. It hadn't happened in a while, but this traditionally happens. Anytime they go up on the rates, we have a quarter basis point hike. Bitcoin usually goes down $20,000. Okay. So there it is. There's your 70K, roughly. Okay. So we're talking about a 2% hike over 12 months. So, if we don't see robust movement, if the fear takes over, you may see 50K by December 2026. Okay. So there's something to ponder, right? There's something to, keep in mind as we go into the new year. Don't get wrapped up in the hope, right? Do your research, pay attention to these metrics, pay attention to what's going on, right? You're going to have to do this because your favorite influencer is only going to give you the icing, the real sweet tasting data, things that'll make you hopeful, make you smile, make you click the like button, subscribe. They're only going to give you that. I'm going to give you 100% realness. We are headed for massive amounts of turbulence. And there's opportunities there, guys. There's opportunities there, but you have to know how to move in this space. All right. You have to know how to research, and you have to know where to put your money. Right. And you got to know when to move into the safe havens, like consolidating into yield bearing positions. There's a time to hold. There's a time to DCA, and there's a time to get the hell out of the way. You need to make that decision. You can only do that yourself. I'm getting out of the way. I don't know about you, LMFG, but I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to ride it out in DeFi, get some yield, and put the binoculars on, and kind of like I'm on the mountain looking down, and we'll see what happens there, right? But there are some opportunities. So this, the macro part of it is very, very simple, guys. When it comes to the reduction in Bitcoin price, Bitcoin is not going anywhere, but it's about to get mortified by these rate hikes, by the demising and the decimation of the yen carry trade. It's about to get hit very hard, and you need to be aware of what's going on. It's not just liquidations. It's not just fear. These are things that are going to happen, that are going to be affecting Bitcoin, that are very substantial in real LMFG. This is not something that's made up on X. This is real. So I wanted to touch on that, and just to give some substance to this downward trend in Bitcoin. It's very serious. And we have, this is not the bottom. I'm not Peter Brandt. I'm not going to say 25K, but this is not the bottom, guys. 50K is my floor. And any last impressions on that LMFG before we move on?
No, I just, like I said, I just hope it doesn't hit that low. We'll see what happens.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe we'll get a surprise and they'll vote and pass the Clarity Act. Something happen, something. You need something. It's a shame too with Japan, because that's when in January 1st, I think that's when midnight goes live in Japan. Yeah, right now. Mm-hmm. It's like the worst timing for that, huh?
Yeah, and I seen Charles, he was on X. He was kind of pissed off because everybody was talking about the Night token, the Night coin. I don't even think he launched that coin anymore. They were saying that it went to zero. Did he launch that already?
Yeah, it's out.
Did he? See, I haven't caught track on that. So that thing catastrophically fell from $150 all the way down to like 2 cents or something like that.
It was like $1.50. Yeah, but that was all airdrop. I don't know where those funds came, and it might have been from him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He put it up there, and phew, it was gone immediately. And I think it's floating.
That was amazing. So that wasn't good. So what I read was true. It went from 100 to $1 within minutes. Holy crap.
Oh, sorry. I said, no, $1.50.
Oh, okay. So that was a fake post. See, you can't believe everything you see on X. I mean, some of these guys do just sensationalize shit and this fictitious post. So, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But wow, that was an airdrop. Yeah, that's what happens.
And like we were talking about, like the projects that hang in there, the developers that hang in there, when that thing cut loose, Sunday Swap took more traffic than MinSwap on the Cardano network. And now those guys been around, and they're like sub penny now, and they just still been building. They stick next to Hoskinson, and Hoskinson mentions them every now and then on AMAs and stuff. And so pay attention to them, I think. Yeah, I think that's going to be one of your up there dexes on the Cardano network.
No, absolutely. That ETF should drop too. They have the clearance for the ETF. That's going to drop next year, I believe. A lot of this has been put on hold, including the Clarity Act. So we're not going to get even the market structure bill that has been put on hold into next year because they can't seem to come to a consensus. And then the banks, they keep throwing the monkey wrench into the actual conversations with all the money, with all the Disney trips, as you say, my friend, Disney trips. It's crazy, bro.
Damn Disney trips. Yipper.
It's ridiculous. Let's go ahead and get to this breaking news. So we talked about Paul Atkins. Here's the headline. We're going to get into his speech too. Secretary Atkins says crypto could become powerful financial surveillance tool. There's that word, surveillance. sees path forward without giving up privacy. Let's see. Now, the U.S. Secretaries and Exchange Commission, Paul Atkins, said he believes that there is a path forward that balances national security concerns with the preservation of individual privacy, but warned that excessive government involvement could tip the scales too far. Now, on Monday, in this particular crypto task force meeting, sixth crypto roundtable of the year, Atkins cautioned that blockchains are particularly effective at linking transactions to senders. We know this. If you don't, there it is. You can't hide on chain, guys. Now, if steered in the wrong direction, Atkins said crypto could become the most powerful financial surveillance architecture ever invented, unquote. Now, here's another quote from Atkins, direct quote. Indeed, if the instinct of the government is to treat every wallet like a broker, every piece of software as an exchange, every transaction as a reportable event, and every protocol as a convenient surveillance node, then the government will transform this ecosystem into a financial panacopia. This is what he said. Let's hear from the horse's mouth, because he actually talked about this in depth.
Analytics firms are especially important. Public blockchains are more transparent than any legacy financial system ever built. Every movement of value is recorded on a ledger that anyone can inspect. Chain analytics firms are already exceptional at assisting law enforcement with linking on-chain activity to off-chain identities. In other words, pushed in the wrong direction, crypto could become the most powerful financial surveillance architecture ever invented.
Now I'm gonna stop right there, because did you hear what he said? LMFG, we just got through talking about that. Your identity can be actually discovered just by the blockchain data. Did you hear him say that, LMFG? This came right out of Paul's mouth.
Right, correct.
A lot of people don't understand that, bro.
Right. With cash, I mean, but usually, you know what I mean? You can't trace it when it goes illegal. My biggest thing with this, and this is what I figured years ago, what I like about it is no matter what, with traditional, they trace everything anyway. Probably they can trace 80, 90% of funds being transferred. But the thing is, now we get to see what the government spends. Mm-hmm. And that's where I think this is why this keeps getting kicked down the road. Because it's two-way. It's a ledger. So they got to spend monies on using the blockchain. We can see where it's going, and they can't bullshit us anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
With all this fraud going on, that's just popping up all over the place. Mm-hmm. It'll put that out.
Yeah, overnight. Yeah, especially when it comes to this voting. You put voting on chain, we may have one of the first fair elections. We may have one of the most fairest elected presidents ever in history if we go on chain with voting.
Hoskinson got knocked down a year and a half, 2 years ago. He was trying. He put the whole thing together and said he would do it pro bono.
Yeah, I remember. No, they don't want that.
They don't want it.
No, absolutely. Because, it's a selection situation now. It's reversed if you put it on chain. It becomes an election. It actually becomes a legitimate election, not a selection. What we have now is a selection. Electoral college. That is a selective committee. It's not an election. If you use the popular vote, that's an election. We're using electoral college to you know what? I'm gonna get off that because that's a whole nother niche. Let's get back to, because I'm going down a rabbit hole right there.
Indeed, if the instinct of the government is to treat every wallet like a broker, every piece of software as an exchange, every transaction as a reportable event, and every protocol as a convenient surveillance node, then the government will transform this ecosystem into a financial panopticon. At the same time, this technology allows for privacy-preserving tools that the analog world could not provide, such as zero-knowledge proofs, selective disclosure, and wallet designs that allow users to prove compliance without handing over their entire financial history or personal details to intermediaries or to the government.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we need. And you mentioned ZK, right? I think ZK is going to be a big thing going into the next 5 years, especially with DeFi, with banks coming. That's what they want. That's what the banks want, essentially. Swift and the Linea Swift pilot. ZK is a big part of that. That's why they picked the Linea chain, because of ZK implementation within that situation. ZK is what we need, bro. That's just my take on it. What's your take? Do you think it's really important, or do you think it's just a sidebar? Is there other technology that may be more robust, if you will?
No, I think you're just stuck because of on and off ramps. I mean, if everything becomes peer-to-peer, it's a bit different. Customer to business, just buying stuff at the store with it. I don't know. I tell you though, that Panopticon, hey, check out the definition. And I knew a circular prison with cells arranged around a central well from which prisoners could at all times be observed.
Damn. Yeah, I said that wrong earlier. I think I said Panacopia. Yeah, I said Panacopia, but that's what I meant. I don't know where the hell I got Panacopia from. But yeah, I'm just glad the guy's actually speaking on this, because we're going into this realm of adoption, and there's still some untold knowledge when it comes to the tech, to the newcomers. It's not just meme coins, and a lot of newcomers, that's all they hear when they go on, Crypto X. They don't really see or hear a lot about the tech, the nuances of the tech, how open it is, the privacy factors. As Paul says, surveillance is at all-time high when this is implemented. It's very easy for things to be tracked. I don't think people understand that. They know now, and I love the fact that Paul is coming out and educating, not only on the wallet situation, but on the tech in general, and where we're going when it comes to privacy. Very interesting. Let's continue.
One can imagine systems where a regulated platform can demonstrate that its users have been screened without the ability to retain a permanent person-by-person map of every payment, trade, or donation. These tools will also help our markets to continue to function smoothly as they move on-chain. Complete financial transparency inherent to public blockchains can disincentivize important financial markets activity. For example, many institutions depend on the ability to build positions, test strategies, and provide liquidity without instantly telegraphing that activity to competitors and to predatory traders. If every order, hedge, and portfolio adjustment was suddenly visible in real time, we could invite front-running, copycat behavior, and pile-on dynamics that make it harder, not easier, for firms to manage risk.
See, and he's talking about something that's been happening in this space for years. The front-running, the sandwiching. We see that, especially if you're a meme coin trader, or if you're a trader in general on DEXs. You already know. We already know this. Now, he's talking about this going mainstream. He's trying to warn them. It's like these newcomers, these institutions, these banks, everybody is trying to leverage this tech. This is what's up. This is what you're getting into. Now he's trying to get ahead of it. He's trying to warn the people, but also they're trying to put in some stopgaps, some actual checks and balances. Maybe a lot of the devs are going to have to reconfigure these chains, these DeFi protocols, make it more safe for these entities. I don't know where this goes, LMFG. It's just going to scare a lot of entities into building their own tech. What do you think?
Yeah, I just don't see how you're going to do on-off ramps without this being completely traced back. So the sexes will have to all be, anything on-off ramp will have to pretty much be, follow bank regulations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
See, that's the part, Elizabeth Warren, she loves this part. Welcome to the show, Mom. Hope you're doing well. This is what they're lobbying for. I don't know how you do this either, bro. That's why I'm saying DeFi is in trouble, because they're not going to allow these institutions to be susceptible to what we've been susceptible to, and all the sandwiching and the front running and all the illegal activity. They're not going to allow it. So DeFi has to be altered. Essentially, as we know it, it's going to change. It's going to have to be altered and configured differently. I don't know how that looks, LMFG. Or do they just leave well alone and just create their own blockchains, right? And build to suit? What do you think?
Again, it's just, we don't know what they're going to do. It's a shame. I think we'll be fine, though. You're still, like I said, you're going to need these chains. There's no way they're going to pull this off by just putting everything on one chain. Now, can the government do it for all costs? And, build a chain for the Department of Defense, build a chain for this, build a chain for that. I don't know. Crazy.
Well, I'll tell you this. If it leads to where you have a lot of private permissions built, and if they turn their back on what's already existing, it's going to take a while. It's going to take now. You have AI agents that make coding a whole lot easier, but I believe it's going to take a while. It's going to put us back some years. So hopefully this goes well. Let's go ahead and continue. Finish this off.
Market making and underwriting become far less attractive if every inventory balance or client flow is immediately exposed to the marketplace. This technology makes it possible to balance the government's interest in deterring threats to our national security and the American public's interest in privacy. But to best strike this balance, we must make certain that Americans can use these tools without immediately falling under suspicion. Shielding the lawful activity of our citizens from bulk surveillance while still ensuring that our government can perform these essential functions is the best way to protect both national security and our basic civil liberties, while also giving room for innovation to flourish. So the stakes here are high, and the questions before us carry profound and enduring implications. As we begin this roundtable, I am eager to hear more from our panelists about how we as a commission can protect Americans' privacy, as well as how crypto's privacy tools can lessen rather than increase the need for mass financial surveillance. Together, I am confident that we can shape a framework that ensures that neither technological nor financial advancements will come at the expense of personal freedoms. Unfortunately, other obligations are going to prevent me from attending the entire conference.
Okay, so he's winding down. It's kind of bearish if you really think about it, because they're struggling with this. If you just listen to what he's saying, I think they're struggling with this. They don't have answers to this, and I think they're learning on the go when it comes to this technology. They're actually finally learning. They're digging their, sinking their teeth into it, and they're like, whoa, guys, we got issues here. We got some big issues here, especially with these existing chains. There's some holes here. There's some things that need to be patched up. Maybe these chains aren't as solid as we thought. There's some issues with privacy here. And they're jumping on self-custody. They're sending this huge bulletin out when it comes to self-custody. And I told you guys, DeFi is kind of under attack because it's wild, wild west. This space has been wild, wild west. A lot of gunslinging for so many years now. Institutions are coming in and they're popping the hood, and they're like, whoa, we need to adjust some things before we get embedded, because this is crazy. What's going on here is crazy. Wild, wild west. So they're gathering this information, and they're like, okay, we need to fix some things. DeFi is going to be altered. You can just hear it. It's in the devil is in the details, as they say. Now, looking back into as we go, I'm going to put a Bitcoin chart back up before I read this. Again, we're teetering back towards $88,000, which is great, but the sell pressure is still enormous, guys. Now, tethering that to this. Now, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission recently issued an investor bulletin, right? This bulletin was dated on the 12th. If you didn't get it, we're going to talk about this briefly before we get to the memory giveaway and get out of here. Urging retail investors to understand the significant risk associated with cryptocurrency custody, including potential permanent loss of assets. And we're not talking liquidity pool permanent loss. We're talking about hacking and custodial insolvency. LMFG, I think this is a great bulletin because I think not only the entities need to understand what's going on, but as a new investor coming into the space, you need to understand what you're getting into, especially when you're diving into DeFi in its current state. Okay. Now, here are the key risks that were in this bulletin. Now, the SEC guidance released through the Office of Investors Education and Assistance emphasized the crypto wallet stores, in particular, the private key situation and passcodes that authorize transactions. This is what DeFi does for you, right? You get to hold your own crypto keys, privates, seed phrases, things of that nature. You own your crypto. It's on your device. You own it, right? Whether it's hot or cold, essentially. This is versus custodialship, actually holding it on a custodial situation, meaning not in your possession, in someone else's possession that has their own keys, right? This can result in the complete loss, barring any insolvency. And this is what I think a lot of newcomers need to understand. This is the difference between self-custody and custodial situations. Now, self-custody risk. I love the way they put into this bullet. I love the way they put this in. You have permanent loss, which is a misplacement of keys or seed phrases. Now, on a self-custody, value, this is on you as a holder of crypto, as a holder of your MetaMask, essentially, or your Phantom. Most of you know this, but newcomers don't understand. Once you lose those keys, LMFG, and those seed phrases, it's a wrap. Permanent loss is imminent. It's a wrap. It's done. Now, in the age of quantum computing, there's going to be some recovery measures that are going to be coming up in the next 5 years. But until then, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. So watch those keys, guys. Now, when it comes to security and responsibility, investors must implement robust security measures, including using strong passwords and multi-factor authentication and safeguarding seed phrases from physical damage or theft. Now, I will tell you this. If you are a victim of SIM swapping, if your SIM and your cell phone has been swapped, none of that matters anymore. 2F, multi-factor authentication, passwords, all of that is exposed during a SIM swap. Your fingerprinting, your biomechanics on your phone, all of that is disrupted once your SIM is swapped. So just be mindful of what you're doing with your devices, guys. This is all on you. Now, as far as third-party custody risk, we're talking about exchanges, essentially, hot wallet situations that are tethered to decentralized exchanges that you did not disconnect from. This is called a custodian failure. This is a beautiful bulletin that was put out. Now, if a custodian is hacked, shut down, or enters bankruptcy, investors may face difficulty accessing or could permanently lose their assets. That's insolvency. We see this happen. That was FTX, right? LMFG. I love the way they put this together now. Hypothecation. I'm sorry. My caffeine is going down. And commingling. Some custodians may lend out rehab locations or pool client assets. This is crazy. I didn't even know they did this, LMFG. Potentially exposing them to creditor claims in an event of insolvency. The SEC urges investors to verify the custodian's policies. That means read the fine print, guys. You should always do that. On asset segregation, meaning the separation of your assets towards platform assets and insurance assets. Set aside for insolvency, and consistent requirements, or you should consist for requirement policies for such practices as segregation of assets. So LMFG, I didn't even know they did that. Hopefully exchanges aren't doing that, but apparently they are, especially third-party custodians. Now, and obviously the lack of insurance. Investors should confirm whether their assets that are being held in third party are covered by insurance as standard protection, like as IPC for securities. And this may not apply to non-security or crypto assets, by the way, but LMFG, this bulletin was pretty thorough, right? And it covers a lot. It covers a lot. And it brought up a rehab application. Didn't even know about that. And that, that could be used. And a lot of the client assets are being used for loans. You got to really read the fine print, bro. What's your take on this bulletin?
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. Again, geez. I really do. I don't want to say anything because on anything just about, because everything's going to keep tweaking and changing. Like I've been saying over the months here and the years even. It's crazy. It's good. It's good and it's bad.
Yeah.
I saw it coming though, and it's no matter what. Everybody that thinks they're going to be blockchain is it, and I'm going to be able to bypass the banks and do all this. Not when it comes down to money. It's not. Yeah, and them doing it already today, I don't know. I didn't know.
Yeah, they're coming out, bro. The SEC is coming out steaming. They had the round table, then they put out this bulletin, which was, what I read to you about the hypothentication. That's a tough word for me today. The commingling with some of these custodians that are actually using client assets to provide loans to credit. God, that's crazy, bro. This is like standard practice, I believe. Wow. So you got to read the fine print when you're dealing with these third parties, guys. Always read the fine print. I'm probably going to post this bulletin later on because this is for those of you who didn't actually read this. Now, let's go ahead and drop it. Let's go ahead and do a little drop into the, let's look at these stocks, man. Stocks aren't looking too good, LMFG. Are you embedded, bro? Are you still in the stock market? Are you investing?
No, not at all. I mean, what I did put in there was pretty much gone.
It's ugly, bro. Mag 7, a little bit of the half Mag 7 group. They're in the green. Palantir's, Palantir, 2%. Apple's down. Google's down. Nvidia's up, not by very much. Tesla was doing pretty good. Went down a little bit, but they're back up. The S&P guys down. Dow Jones down almost 400 points. NASDAQ tech sector down. AI bubble has popped. They're not making money. When it comes to the AI situation, that AI bubble is about to burst. And that's something that you need to be aware of too going into 2026 as well. That thing is going to pop. It's already leaking. These AI conglomerates are not making money. They want your money, but they're not making revenue. And this is the problem with AI. Those data centers, they're not feasible. A lot of these ones that are coming up, there's not enough water in the grid to even support that, let alone the actual, the maintenance. And the grid is going to take a hit too as well in those areas. It's just not feasible, right? They're not making money. OpenAI is so far in the red, and they keep continuously lying about their profits. AI is not making money, and that's a bad thing for the investors. They're going to want out, and when that happens, that's going to be an avalanche. It's going to affect NASDAQ heavily. The futures don't look too good. LMFG Nikkei is almost down 500%. This is what the futures are saying. Dow is going to go down a whole lot more. We'll see. This fluctuates. I don't really dig too far into the futures, but it's not looking good. As far as bonds, as far as treasury bonds, 10 years down, 30 years down. It's still really close to 5. I'm really watching the 30 year. I think a lot of this is going to flip once we do get the actual, authenticated news about the BOJ. Which that is going to happen, a quarter point basis point going upward. That is going to turn these markets upside down, guys. So always be mindful of that. $87,000. We're probably going to clip 88,000 for Bitcoin. And then down we go. I think we're going to get that information around Wednesday from the Bank of Japan. And down we go. All right. So let's get to this member giveaway. We do this every week. I had an awful week yesterday. I had some issues with my actual workstation. So I think we're back going. I think everything is good. We're going to do this giveaway. We do it every week. I hope you guys enjoy the member video. We're going to do another one this week as well. And we take the actual members that comment on these videos, which are exclusive to the member group. And we put them on the wheel every week for a chance to win some Solana, right? So I'm going to need the Solana wallet. We tried Bitcoin. It was too slow. We may try some others. I don't know. I'll probably do a poll to see if you guys want to switch again. But for now, it's going to be Solana rewards. And I just need that actual address once you do find out you're a winner. And I'm going to make sure I got everybody. Let me do a little quick check to make sure everybody is on the wheel here. I think I got everybody that actually participated in the actual comment section here. And yeah. So let's go ahead and spin this wheel. Let's see who we got. I think it's going to be Steve Hawk. I believe so. So we got Steve Hawk E5P. That's going to be the first winner for today's member giveaway. So a hand clap to you, Steve Hawk. Let's go ahead and get another one. We need 2 more actually. Let's go. All right. So let's see here. Looks like it's going to be La La Land 786. I don't know. Melina is really creeping up really fast. That's a close one. So we got La La Land 786. All I need is that Soul Wallet. Don't forget, guys. And one more. Looks like it's going to be Jacob Anthony on this one. We got some breaking news on the BOJ too. We're going to get to that in a minute. So, all right. So Jacob Anthony, 7467. And we have, let's go into a recap. So the first one is going to be Steve Hawk E5P. Hand clap to you, brother. Hand clap. La La Land 786 is going to be the second winner. Hand clap to you, La La. And Jacob Anthony 7467 is going to be it's going to round up that winners group. So hand clap to all 3. All I need is that Solana address, and we'll get those to you. Get those Solanas to you ASAP. LMFG, we got some breaking news on, and I hate to even say this, but it's actually going to happen, guys. Breaking news on that BOJ stuff. So here's the actual breaking news. There's going to be the BOJ chairman here. No one wanted to hear this, but I told you guys this was going to happen. Bank of Japan, guys. Now, we actually got some solidified news here. Now, breaking. This is from a reputable outfit on X, verified gold badge. And plus, I've been doing my own research on this, guys. This is happening now. This is kind of crazy because it's higher than I thought. Breaking. Bank of Japan has confirmed it will increase interest rates to 75 basis points within 3 days. Now, I told you guys it's going to be 0.25 basis points. They're talking 3/4 within 3 days. Now,
I believe it's at a 0.5 point now.
Well, this just broke. So there are some adjustments that have been made, unfortunately. This just broke, brother. So obviously there's some adjustments here. This is not good, bro. Now, I'm hoping that we do see only, .25 basis points. That's still going to hurt Bitcoin. You're talking $20,000 reduction in that Bitcoin price. We already seen that hit earlier. Now, this news just broke. So that's got to filter through the pipeline. If this is true, 75 basis points, right, within a 3-day period. So we're talking about 3 additional cuts or 2 after the one this week, or they're just going to go ahead and just use the broadsword, the chainsaw, and just go for the 75 basis points.
No, I just searched it and it says it's at 0.5 today.
So it's not. Okay, so again.
It's not 0 right now. It's at 0.5.
So it's not 0.25 like they initially said. So we have some discrepancies.
They're going to add 0.25.
So okay.
Bring it to 0.75.
Okay, so we're still talking about a way more considerable cut than a quarter, because a quarter was announced 4 weeks ago. So we're still higher than initially. This is not good. This is not good. So Again, breaking. Bank of Japan has confirmed it will increase interest rates to 75 basis points in 3 days. So they're trying to go 2%, a whole 2% within a 12-month period. They're really moving quick. This tells you how bad they want to change the trajectory in the course of Japan. They don't care about the dollar. They can give a damn about Bitcoin. They don't care about our stock markets. They may be dumping treasuries too as well, because a lot of countries are. Because of the liquidity crisis that's happening. They need dollars. And a lot of those dollars, like I told you in the member video, are being converted into gold and silver and Bitcoin. Even with Bitcoin going down, you got a lot of dollars being converted into Bitcoin. So these are unparalleled times, right? And if this is, you're saying a half a point, dude, that's even worse than 2.5 LMFG.
No, that's where it's at today. It's at a half a point.
No, I get the standing.
Going to 0.75.
Okay, I get what you're saying. But the initial was supposed to be the actual hike is what I'm saying. Let me be clear. The actual initial hike was only supposed to be a hike of 0.25 basis points. So you're saying it's 5. So we're going to half point. So that's
no. It's going to be today. Today it's at 0.5%.
Okay.
So by adding a quarter, it's going to bring it to 0.75.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go and do some background on this. Do some more background on this. Well, it's still bad. It's still bad. It's going up. And I got to do some more background on this because I'm a bit confused on this right now. It's still bad though. It's still bad. Nothing's good about these rates going up in Japan. It's gonna disrupt the carry trade, and that's the bad part about it. So, with that being said, LMFG got any parting takes on this, bro? And on the market in general, 20K reduction in Bitcoin price is evident. We do know that. So, 50K, not too sure about that, but that's my floor. 25K, I don't think that's gonna happen. But what's your lasting take on what we've talked about in the Japan thing, because this is significant?
Right. Yeah. With this Japan thing, that's going to hurt. I don't know what they're going to do. We'll see how bad it is. It's going to, I believe Thursday is when they announce it. But it's already out there. It's already out there. So the markets are going to price this all in. And like you said, the futures, even though you don't pay, we're down, 300 and something now. Yeah. Be another 300 tomorrow. They'll price it all in before the announcement, Yeah,
you can add another 300 points reduction to the Dow. Just in the futures right now.
Bitcoin follows.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's kind of correlated with the tech stocks. Yeah. Well, listen, guys, buckle up. We're not in Kansas anymore. This is not a bull run. All right, so just be mindful of that. I'm going to do some more research on this Bank of Japan thing because this is crazy. It's crazy. And you know what's really crazy? I'm going to get conspiratorial on you real quick before we leave, okay? Let me cut that off. There was an earthquake in Japan a week ago. Pretty nasty one. Are we using energy weapons? Or is that the government saying, don't do this rate hike? I don't know, but it's a coincidence that we had an earthquake in Japan a week ago. Really strong one too. Right after they announced this. LMFG. I got my conspiratorial hat on. There's some Illuminati stuff going on, right? I don't know, man. Let me stop. I'll stop. With that being said, guys, do your research. There's some opportunities. Obviously, when the market is doing these things. This is a little bit more than what we're used to. The cycles are broken. This is not a bull run. This is protect your assets, right? Consolidate into some yield-bearing situations if you're really afraid of what's going to happen here going into 2026, and just grab you some yield before the banks completely take it away. All right, you can get 4.9 on Coinbase with your USDC, easily consolidated in. Very, very simple. Low fees there as well. Or you can go and do it your DeFi route. You can go into the DeFi protocols and get you some pretty good yield as well. Be careful with that. Make sure you understand the protocol that you're embedding your funds into and make sure it's safe. Okay. With that being said, have a great day, and we'll see you on the next show.
Take care, everybody.